So 2b. And the Gemara now asks on Rabbah. And we're going to ask pretty much the same question on Rava later. But the Rabbah ta'amar lefisha ein bakin lishma. Liboy trey. You should need two. You should need two witnesses. Only one guy with the shaliach is coming and he's given an edus. So I did see there's a machlokus as to whether this edus needs to go to Beis-Din or not. I think the Chazon Ish holds that you have to, that the shaliach comes, he has to go to Beis-Din and say it, and then there's other meforshim that say that he doesn't have to, and it's a kula, all these type of things. But they have to come and say it anyway. There's an amira. Seemingly from Rashba's question on Rashi, he would say he has to say it in Beis-Din. But so you need to, these two Edom have to come and say it, Midi dahave kol idius shebetayra. But since you're giving edus, so therefore this edus needs two people. Rashi, Midi dahave kol edus shebetayra kushiyahi. It's a kasha. So I guess maybe you would think it continues. So the Gemara answers Eid Echa Naaman Beisurin. And then 1-8 is Naaman Beisurin. Now, what's the teretz here? We're saying to Rabbah that we have these two Eidim that are coming to give Eidus. So I need two of them. So what's the teretz here? Eid Echa Naaman Beisurin. Let's see what Rashi says, see if he can help us. Sheharei he'emna taira kol echod ve'echod. Now here, Rashi's giving you the proof, the source, the makor of Eid Echa Naaman Beisurin. How do we see that Eid Echad is believed with the Surim? Sheharei he'emna taira kol echod ve'echod mi Yisrael al hafrashis truma al shchita al nikor hagid ve'achelev. Now, he doesn't really seem to be explaining the answer. Umashani, the Gemara answers Eid Echa Naaman Beisurin, because the Torah believes everybody on Havrashas Truma and Shechita and Nikor, Hagid ve'Achelev. Now all these things are food items. So what exactly is Rashi's proof here? And L'chayra, Rashi's given a svara. There is no Torah makor as such. I think he gives a posuk in Chulin, ve'zavachta ve'achalta. That how can, so I can be Zayvech, I can shecht for you, and then you can come eat by me. So we kind of have this zvara in the Torah that you can go and eat in someone else's house. So again, all these things that Rashi brings are food. If Rosh's Truma is you have tevel, and then the tevel, I give you an apple from my apple tree, and you're like, well, it's tevel, I can't eat it. And it says, oh, no, it's okay, I took Truma. Well, where's the edus? Let's go to Beis-Din. No, one person, it's enough. Al shchita, I give you a piece of meat, give you a burger, and you're like, well, is it kosher? Sure, it's kosher. Let's eat that up there. So maybe it wasn't shechted properly. Well, and nikor. Now, nikor is nikor hagid va'achelev. Right, nikor is the process of removing the gid hanashe and removing the chelev. Again, chelev and shuman are how do you call it? Scientifically the same. It's that the Torah designates part of the fat as chelev and it's aser, and designates part of the fat as not chelev and mutter. So you can eat stuff. Fat you can eat is called shuman, and fat you can't eat is called chelev. But there's no scientific, technical, physical difference between them. There are places where like this is chelev and you learn this stuff, whatever it says this is chelev, this is the chelev. People kind of need to know, but it's not like if it's green it's chelev and if it's white it's shuman. So the nikor is basically the removal of the chelev and the removal of the gid. So we have three things that Rashi is bringing here: nikor, shchita, and hafrashas truma. Now, Rashi again here, the teretz of the Gemara Eid Echa Naaman Beisurin, Shurei Mina Torah, he's just saying, how do we know Eid Echa Naaman Beisurin? It hasn't really answered. Rashi isn't here to answer the question. He just, it's a given. We have here in the Musaf Rashi. There we go. Kol echad v'echad. This is in what? In Chulin? Here we go. Chulin. Look at that. Kol echad v'echad hemini ha'Torah. The Torah believed him. V'zevachtam v'kvecha v'mitzonecha. V'shachet es bakar. V'achli kohanim al yedei. So that the kohanim can eat through one guy's shchita. V'lochuzaku la'hamid edim b'davar. So one kohen checks the behema, and we don't need. So you didn't see the shechita. You don't have edim checking the kohen. So one kohen can run off, do the shechita, and then feed everyone. How do you know it was kosher? Because below Torah edim ela oynesh moment or means is based in. So there we have. We're gonna get this in the Rashi here. To come in davar mi moment. Now so there it's a svara. It's a svara in the Torah. Because we'll see that there's other reasons that people give it. Rashi's not bringing a makor specifically. Again, he's like learning from a maisa of shchita that it's matur. So we have no clue what's going on in the Gemara here. Liboy trey we need to have it called Eidish b'Torah. Now here Tosfos here on Liboy trey. Tosfos has a question because really, according to Tosfos, what he's already explained. We don't need to. Akati lo yada had the precious the lo have time ele mishum laaz ad lebesof. So Tosfos is saying in Rabbah, and again this question is in Rabbah. Rabbah he should need two, and Tosfos has already explained that the real reason of Rabbah is only moitzi laz. That really everyone's a boki. Since everyone's a boki, we're not worried about a chashash pasul deraisa, and it's only a chashash laaz. And therefore, we don't need proper edus. The whole question that we need two edim, like kol edus shebetoiro, that's not really true for Rabbah, because it's only mishum laz. However, the lo yada, the Gemara didn't know this ad lebesof. It didn't know this time until it says the time, and until then, it's holding that it's taka a psul in the Gemara itself. So since we're coming, the edim are coming to give edus on the they're giving edus on the get, and the get. We're saying that there's a chashash that it's possible to raisa, and the edim are coming to say it's not possible to raisa. So therefore, I should need two edim like kol edus shebetoiro. And the Gemara answers that when you're looking to matir somebody, then an eid echad is enough. So really these words, eid echad neman be'isurin, is really to matir isurim. Eid echad is neman to matir isurim. And if we look at Rashi's cases, he's saying that this tevel is now mafresh, and the animal that was alive. Again, when the animal's alive, it has a cheskas chai, ever min a chai. It's got it's cheskas iser until you have its vadai shachat Gittin. So it has this iser of it's a live animal without shchita, and he's mattering it by saying I did a good shchita. And on the Nikur, where he's coming to say that this meat was full of osir veins in chalev, and I took them all out. So the eid echod neman be'isurim means that when the eid echod, the singular eid, comes and he gives eidus on a davar that's osir, he's believed to matter it. But if he comes as an eid echod too, so if you say eid echod neman be'heter, that would be the eid echod is coming to osir something that's mutter. The eid echod cannot osir something that's mutter, but an eid echod is allowed to mutter something that's osir. So here, the idea, the whole territory is the eid echod neman be'isurin is that the eid echod, since it's a davar osir, an eid echod is neman to matir a davar osir. Okay, so we'll get into quite the sugya of this idea of eid echod neman be'isurin, but in the meantime, Tosfos says, "Midi dahave called idios shebetoira." So again, I need two, like all edus in the Torah. Bedalis, Garcinan could go on edus dine mominus. So it's like all edus in the Torah, like the edus of momon. I need two. If I say you're chayav, you owe me $100, I need two edim to get the money out of you. Again, eid echod in momon It's it can mechayev a shavua, but I can't be moitzi. Without I need two for a raya. The dina nefashos, I need two. If you want to kill someone, you need two people. So that's with the dalit. However, the east of garsi arayas bereish. So it would be here. I mean, I don't know. It kind of works. I don't know. Liboy trey midida have a kol arayas shabbatayra. And since this is a davar erva, therefore I should need two people because all arayas needs two people. So Tosfos says velon era. It doesn't appear that this is what the Gemara is saying. The imkain, if it did have a reish, my mishani erecho naaman באיסורין. So Tosfos says again, he didn't seem to have a problem with the edus. What the hell the Gemara is answering there? I think we got there in the end. But what's his teretz? According to if it's a reish, malo lehesker isurin, v'ha erais nami isurhu, v'ha erais nami isurhu. So if we have it, because it changes the whole thing here, we need to have it called arayis shabbat. So we're saying that arayis in the Torah need two. All arayis in the Torah need two. So we see here eidecha naaman be'isurin. It doesn't help because really in the question we're already saying what's the shaliach coming to do? The shaliach is coming to matter this eish. And saying here's again she can go. And in the question we're saying that all arayis in the Torah needs two. So we know that this shaliach is coming to matter even in the case of arayis we need two to matter. So therefore, in the Havamina we knew we need two. Therefore, what's the teretz? Eidecha naaman be'isurin. No, they're not, because in arayis they're not believed. You need two to matter in arayis. That's the whole question here. Because I know it's an arayis and I need two, and because I've only got one coming. So malo lehesker is isurin v'ha arayis nami isurhu v'hachi havi leila meimor. This is what it should have said. Lo dami l'shar arayis. So what we're saying here is that all arayis need two to matir, but this with this guy coming with the guest, that's different to all the other arayis. V'havi leila noisin tam. Exactly why it's different. And why this guy only needs one, that's how you give an answer. And the answer of eidecha naaman be'isurin doesn't answer the question. Umihu yesh loymar. The hachikamar. This is the teretz. Eidecha naaman be'isurin lahatir. We say that eidecha naaman be'isurin lahatir. That's going, the teretz is saying that no. That when do I need two for arayis? Hadaboy trei hani mili la'aser. Because that's only when I'm coming to Asr I need two in arayis. However, eidecha naaman be'isurin lahatir. But this eidecha, this is with the teretz. In the Havamina we're saying that I need two bein lahatir, bein la'asr. Comes the teretz and say that eidecha is naaman lahatir and a two is only la'asr. Dechad lo kol kamine, because then one person is not able to asr somebody. So for example, you have a man and his wife, and one guy comes and says, oh, she was doing something she couldn't do, and she's also to you now. So he's not believed. He's one erech, he's not believed. But to matter a woman with a get, he would be believed. That would be the teretz. Aval had to come or kol arayis. Why does the Gemara say, come on, kol arayis shabbatorah, lo ati shapir? It doesn't work. Demai kol. What's it saying kol? Because ikr davar shabbe'erva ein pachas mishtayim. When is our whole din of you need two people? Zehu be'eshesish, be'gittin u'bekadushin v'zenus de'eshesish. Because the whole point of the when we need two is with things with the that are shaykh to the eshesish, which is the gittin and kedushin and zenus, and arayis tam you don't need. So, for example, if you have an eidecha coming to say she's your sister, so then she's usher to you, even though she's only this random woman. Not your wife, but this random woman from the shuk. You say that she's your sister, so you can't marry her now. So, but where it comes to where do I need ein pachas b'shnayim, that's the eishes he's getting kedushin v'znos, the eishes ish la'asra al baila. So therefore, the kol arayis just isn't true, and even if we go with the Tosis' teretz of the chiluk of lahatir and to aser, so then it still doesn't work because the lashon of kol is eina muduyak. So moving on to Eid Echanem Besurim, the Rambam here. Eina tzarek shnei edim lemalkus. So you don't need 2 edim for malkus. Eila b'shas maisa. Only the time of the maisa. So when you do the maisa, then you have 2 edim. If you're doing something that's going to get you makos, so therefore you need 2 people to give edus. Aval ha'isr atzmo be'ed echod yichuzak. The Rambam saying here that the Eid Echod will be able to be machzik an isser in order to get makas for it. Now, this is a difficult din, which I guess we'll go through the din and kind of see why it doesn't really make sense. Kate said, right? Kate said is, how does this work? Because what you're saying doesn't make sense. Give me an example. Amar Eid Echod chelev kolius huzet. So the it's like kidney fat. So this is the ulcer kidney fat. Klaya kerem hem peruselu. So you have like this apple and these this Eid Echod, it goes to Din and he says this apple is klaya kerem. This chelev, this fat is chelev. Grusha zu, zuna, zoina, esha zu. But achol, now here, somebody then later achol or bal, be'edim acher shahoiser boy. Hare ze like afol pish ikeris or be'ed echod. This is all at the fixing of the iser. Now this guy ate. So there's an apple on the table. Okay, so if you're eating an apple and some guy tells you got one guy saying that that's kalaya kerem, so you don't get makos for eating that. It's an eid echod saying that it's kalaya kerem. You're eating the apple. So with shas maisa, you need 2 people to tell you. So 2 people warn you, say don't eat that apple because it's kalaya kerem. So therefore now you eat it and you'll get makos. But if one guy is telling you while you're eating it that it's kalei kerem, one aid can't make a kalei kerem. So it says the Rambam that if the eid echad comes first, and he says that this apple is kalei kerem, and then later, and then seemingly there's a pasak din, the basin give a pasak on this apple. Now this apple is becheskes iser of kalei kerem, and then you eat it, then you get makos. Now, the pella from this Rambam is, why is he getting makos? He ate. What did he eat? Well, we don't know. Maybe it's kalei kerem, maybe it's just a normal apple. And the only way we know that he did a davar ha'isr is because it's Eid Echad said it was kalei kerem. The 2 Eidim that are warning him when he's eating it don't know about the kalei. They were just in Din when the Eid Echad came or whatever. They heard about the Pesach and said that it's kalei kerem, that the Pesach of the Din. But the Isser is only coming from an Eid Echad. And since the Isser is only coming from the Eid Echad and he eats it, why is he eating this? Why is he getting makos? He's getting makos from an Eid Echad, which is a bit of a pellet. But seemingly once it's got the basin are given a Pesach that it's kalei kerem based on the Eid Echad. So you also have here the Gerusha or the Zoina. So therefore you get the Pesach. This is an Eid Echad, and then it's an Isser. You got an Isser Kahuna there for the Gerusha or Zoina. It's not an Isser Erva L'chayr because it's not Kares. It's would only be it's only a Lav Ba'alma that he's not allowed to marry these people. But you see that the Isser is created by the Eid Echad, and once the Eid Echad is given the Pesach, so therefore it has the value of 2 once the Pesach, once the Beis Din happens. But obviously, if the Eid Echad hasn't gone first, so then you don't need. But the Eid Echad gets the power of 2 once he precedes the act. So if we go back to the Gemara, Chayra. Rav Adamar she'ein bokein lishma liboy trey. We need to have 2 edim. We need to have a kol edus shabatoira. Right, and then we say eid echad ne'emen be'isurin. So according to the Rambam, libui trey isn't true. I don't need two. The guy gets there before, and he goes to Basin, and he makes his pronunciation in Basin or whatever. He's in Basin. He's not in Basin, but he makes his claim as the Eid Echod. Now the Eid Echod has the power of two. So according to the Rambam, then I don't need this. I don't. There's no question, and I don't need the teretz. I mean, Eid Echod Naaman Besurin Ech is Naaman for everything, and they can osir. They can osir something that's mutter, and they can heter something that I don't need this there. There's no question. What's the question? What do you mean liboy trey? I don't need to. Eid Echod is Naaman la asur, like we saw in the Rambam, that the Eid Echod is Naaman to osir it. So therefore, I don't need to. So this Gemara doesn't make any sense according to the Rambam. So with this difficulty in the Rambam, you have the Rishon Mishkop. I mean, if you want to see the Indian, you can read the whole thing. But the Iker Chiluk here, again, think about it. I don't know. Is this true? This Chiluk? The Alken nears the daiti. The shiny edus haget me edus al kashrus hamikvah v'kedoime. So you have like an eid echod on a mikvah, and then the eid echod says that it doesn't have 40 saw, and then the guy stays tameh. Right, so he's saying that when I give edus on a mikvah, I'm not saying anything about this guy's tuma or this guy's cheskes tahor or tameh. I'm giving edus on a mikvah. Shehadin shel tameh einu tuli klal b'mikvah hazu. So I'm saying that it has 39, and like the Pesach, now there's a kick on Pesach, a relative Pesach, but if this guy wants to be Tahor, he can go to the sea. What's got to go to this mikveh that I gave edus on? So when I'm giving edus on the mikveh, I'm not giving the edus on the cheskes of this guy. Now this guy's cheskes tameh or cheskes Tahor will change based on what I'm saying. But I'm not giving any edus on him or on his cheskes tumah. I'm giving edus on the mikveh. Aval beget shehegershin shel isha mityachdim al yedei maisa prati shekasuvim get over isha hazois mekaven shechukan davar hamatir over nechshav gerugerium becheskes isr. So really, he's making a difference between how I'm giving the edus. In the case of the Rambam, where here, I'm giving edus on this chalev. I'm not giving edus on whether this guy should get makos or not. And I'm not giving edus on the chalev, and it's nothing to do with the eater. And it's like indirect edus, where it's just saying that the chalev, that this is chalev, and it shouldn't be eaten. So then, reflecting on the person, then the mikveh is a more difficult case. So there, you have to expand the svara and say that no, because I'm still not on the person. I'm on the mikveh. I'm on the object and not the person. But when it comes to get, then I am on the woman, and yeah. So again, you can say, well, I'm only on the get and not the woman. But here, he's linking the get. You're saying on this woman herself. And therefore, that I need two people, and the Eid Echod can't establish a heter and isser on that. So you still need two, and the Rambam therefore he'll say, yeah, he'll agree you need two, because since you're giving the edus on the woman herself and not on an object without dealing with them again. When I say this meets chalev, I'm not talking about anybody. No one's getting makos. Now destroy the chalev. I'm not giving din on anybody. So when you have the grusha, so it's the Kohen that will get the makos, who will have relations with her. But I'm not giving edus. I'm not giving edus on the Kohen. I'm giving edus on the woman, and therefore I'm not creating that is. Whereas here with the get, I'm giving it on the woman herself. And that's why I need two people. So, onto the Tosfos. Eid Echod Naaman Beisurin, Parish of Kuntras. Sherei Amina Taira Kol Echad Ve'echad Al Hafrashas Truma V'Shechita V'Nikor Agid V'Chelev V'Lo Haya Lo LaHazkir Hafrashas Truma V'Shechita. Now, Rashi gave 3 cases: Hafrashas Truma, Shechita, and Nikor. And Tosis doesn't bother with the whole Nikor thing. Maybe it's included in Shechita, maybe it's not. Now the Gemara is going to go on. We're going to see the next point that when there's a cheskas isur, then a echod is not naaman to matir. So if we know that if there's already chazaka that a piece of meat is treif, then the aid will not be naaman to say that it is kosher. So you have a chazaka of something that is already usher, so therefore the eid can't come in matters. So now Tosis is asking a question here that since you have an itchazek isura, the eid echad is not naaman, but hanu naaman afal gav. So it's really asking a question here: why are they believed in these cases? This isn't a normal case of eid echad naaman isura because it's itchazek isura where he's not believed. Mishum to biyado le'tankam, because it's in his hand, he's able to fix it up. That's why the eid echad is believed. So as we're again, the next part of the suki is going to get into this whole point of itachazek kazur, so he's not believed. So really, these cases Rashi shouldn't have said because these believed because it's biyado. That's why they're believed. However, that this isn't a good case. Now, v'hachi amar ba'isha rabba, and that's what it says in Isha Rabba, that it's not believed. Now, what about Nikor? The question here is Nikor itchazek azura or not? Sorry, so tevel is itchazek azura because when you take a bunch of apples off the tree, they're all tevel, and therefore you can't eat tevel. So therefore, it's like azur. Now the maisa of truma will matter them, but until they're matter, it's also. When an animal is alive and has a chazaka of not being shakted and a chazaka of being either ever minachai or not shakted properly, so it has an isura, and only once it's shakted properly will that isra fall off. Now the question is nikor itazek isura? So the Ramah says that an eid echod is not believed with a chedikas v'asar she'ena minukeret. So an eid echod is not believed for nikor. Is what the Ramah is saying. So Zeh Mairi, so says it as, of course he's believed for nikor. Zeh Mairi shehabasar kavar nechatach lachetikos katanas. So that's all when the piece of meat is already cut up into small pieces. So you go to whatever some cases, so that the goy has the meat and it's already cut up, and then the goy says that it's the thing's being removed or whatever. So there, you can't tell and you can't take it out. So when the meat's already cut up into small pieces, you're not believed when the Jew got it. Aval kol shenikor bo nikor vaday naaman, for sure he's believed. So he's coming out of what the Ramah is saying. The Ramah seems to be saying that an eid echod is not believed when it's for nikor, and he says no, stam he is believed. It's only when it's cut up, and then you can't tell, because once you can see that it's menukar, ve'ein l'chol shamer nikor misha einu baki. Now, b'vatay ein echod ne'emon lehoitzi mechezchatu lehatera. So for sure, when you have an itchazek isura, says the Taz, that you can't come out of it. Aval basar she'ena menukar, ha lo itchazek habasar le'isur klal, says the Taz. Why not? Eile mishum gidim or chelev sheyesh bo davar zeh va'asar machmas safek vaday doimel mashkatas avachar kach te'im lo hayakan shtei chatikos echad shel heter ve'echad shel isur. So the way that the Taz is explaining the leg that has the nerve in it, is that it needs a case of beer that we have a teruvas here. We have a mixture of meat, mutter meat, and osser meat. And all you need to do is separate out the mutter meat and the osser meat. So I'm suffix which is the mutter and which is, but there's mutter meat here and there's osser meat here. Now by tevel, all of tevel is osser. If you eat any of the tevel, if you have 10 apples, if you eat any of the apples, it's osser. When you have the live cow running around, if you eat any of the cow, it's osser. The shchita matters the entire cow, and the hafroshes truma matters the entire pile of apples. However, with the Giranasha, there's no itchazek isura, says the Taz. It's just something that's mutter, something that's osser. Because I hear that basar is 100% mutter. I'm just not 100% which it is. So therefore, I have the mutter and isser that are mixed in together. But the gid has a cheskes of isser, and the basar has a cheskes of mutter. And once I separate it out, so now it's separated. Now I can eat it. It never had it. This basar wasn't osser that became mutter. It was mutter, and it was suffix. Maybe something's going on, and now I see the suffix comes off, and now that it's mutter. Now the nekudas kesef is the shach on the Taz. So here's the nekudas kesef. L'tehemi al peh kodesh. That's a quote from the Taz who brings someone who answers and says, I don't understand. V'lo kasha midi. The chedik the basar she'enim menukar dami letevel. There says the shach that shekoidem hanikar kula aser v'itachzek iser b'chai chaticha. So classic maklokas, the Taz and the shach, that nikar here he's saying nikar is itachzek isura. Now I don't understand that the shach. I don't know. It's a difficult svara. Why? It's not. It says the Taz is a good svara, and there's a mixture of Isser and Heter. It's not Kula Osir Ketevel. No, there's it might be, but again, it might be Bepoil Osir to eat it, but it's not Osir like Tevel, because if you eat any of the Tevel, it's Vadai Osir. You've eaten Vadai Osir, and if you eat some of the thing, even though you shouldn't be eating it, well, maybe you get away with it. It could also be there's a maklokus if suffix isser, if you eat suffix isser, is it also to eat suffix isser? Is it to rice it to eat suffix isser? In the sense of if you have two pieces in front of you, one of them is chelev, one of them is shuman, and you eat one of them, and you were correct and it was shuman. Did you do anything wrong? So I think we had that maklokus quite a long time ago, but maybe you have a maklokus for that here between Shach and Mataz. I don't know. Now the Sheikh Shmaisa comments on the maklokus, so you can read it up. So afal pisha ein yudis halachas shchita given should be yado lilmod lishkot. So we're actually going to see this in the Tosfos. So continue on this in the Tosfos. The shchita. So Tosfos is going to give like a side point about shchita. Afal gav the hashta ein biyado. So now, why is shchita believed? You can't fix it. You have a shechted animal in your hands. You can't. It's not biyado. Mikara hayi biyado lishkot. Because if it's not true, why you believed? So since it was itchazek isura while he was alive, and then since it was biyado to shechta properly, and you don't see anywhere that you need some like an eid echod looking at the guy who shechted, so that you have two eidim. You have the sheichet and then this other gadol who's standing over him. This other guy, you don't see that anywhere. That so therefore one aid. So why is he believed when he comes out of the shechita house and says this is a good shechita? Why is he believed? It's not biyado because it was biyado. Umaisim b'chol yom that he's believed even though it's even in a case. So here it's really in a case. So there's an idea of roiv mitzoyin et shechita mumchin hen. Maybe that's why you're believed, because even in the case where that doesn't apply, kagon shenekta kol arosh. So where some guy chops the whole head off, either he's not a baki clearly because he chopped the whole head off, or there's no beit shchita's nicker, so maybe it wasn't shechted at all. So therefore, we can't say that it was. He still believed. And now he says, well, how can we trust the women? Shanu samchan al anoshim b'shchita. So you go to someone's house and the woman says the meat's kosher. How can you believe her? Afal pisha ein yodeis hilchos shchita, even though she doesn't know the halachas of shchita. Why not? Because she's a woman. Kevin shebiyada lilmod lishchot or la hashger acherim sheyishchot la kabiyada dami. So your advice is that since she could learn it, or she could just rent someone else to do it, so that's called biyadu dami. So the Shev Shmaisa then applies this idea to the Nikor. Imken hu adin benikor. Afokad ein boki benikor choshe biyado. Why? Because he can learn, or he can be makshir, or he can rent someone else a boki benikor. So again, going like the Taz, the Echad would be Naman with the Nikor.